A man was caught in the shadow of an American soldier's crime. He took the life of the innocent without warning, shaking the military community. The sound of gunfire echoed through Grande Island. His arrest marked the beginning of years behind bars. The case remains a grim reminder of violence that crossed borders. Real crimes are more terrifying than any ghost story. They are born from the darkest corners of the human mind, where greed, rage, and obsession twist into acts beyond imagination. In this channel, we dive deep into these chilling true events, unmasking the truth that hides in the shadows. If you have a passion for real crime stories, subscribe and join our growing community. Don't forget to click the bell button for more real-life crime stories. Former federal prisoner Clayton Anthony Fountain, who died in the federal medical facility in Springfield, Missouri, on the 12th of July 2004. Clayton was born in Fort Benning, Georgia in 1955 and enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps in the early 70s. He allegedly shot and killed a staff sergeant at Grande Island, Philippines in 1974, for which offense he was incarcerated at the disciplinary barracks at Fort Leavenworth until 1976, when he was transferred into the federal system at Leavenworth Inchely, then Marion. Clayton was found guilty of 4 additional murders whilst in Leavenworth, Marion, and was ultimately locked down in the Fedment on no human contact status, doing life without the possibility of parole. In the latter years of his life, Clayton converted to Catholicism, took several educational courses, mostly in theology or related disciplines, and became associated with a Trappist order of Cistercian monks at Ava, Missouri, who posthumously accepted him as a lay brother after his sudden and unexpected death of a heart attack. Died in prison on July 12, 2004. Elite security force was drinking with neighbors, most of them soldiers, when an argument broke out. One officer, armed with a .45 caliber pistol, killed 5 of his companions and wounded another. After the shooting, he went home, fetched an M16 rifle, and barged into a neighbor's house, where he killed 4 more persons and wounded 2 children. He took the life of the innocent without warning, shocking everyone present. Gunfire echoed as panic spread through the community. Witnesses would never forget the horror they saw that night. Real crimes are more terrifying than any ghost story. They are born from the darkest corners of the human mind, where greed, rage, and obsession twist into acts beyond imagination. In this channel, we dive deep into these chilling true events, unmasking the truth that hides in the shadows. If you have a passion for real crime stories, subscribe and join our growing community. Don't forget to click the bell button for more real-life crime stories. Authorities were searching for Marine Officer Marciano Contaoe, 32, who was assigned to Aquino's presidential security group. A member of President Corazon Aquino's elite security force suddenly drew a pistol during a drinking binge and killed 3 companions, then continued on a shooting rampage that left a total of 12 people dead. The Presidential Security Group is a select and independent unit of the armed forces that guards the presidential palace and escorts the president on out-of-town visits. Her personal bodyguards are drawn from its ranks. The president did not immediately comment on the incident and made no mention of it on her weekly radio call-in show, focusing instead on relations between the United States and the Philippines. Contaoe began the deadly spree while drinking with friends Saturday night in suburban Taguig, unexpectedly drawing his .45 caliber pistol and shooting to death 3 friends who were drinking with him. He returned to his home, got his M16 rifle, and went to a neighbor's house where he opened fire, killing 8 people, including 2 children. As he left the house, Contaoe killed a man he met on the street, bringing the death toll from the rampage to 12. Contaoe was sentenced to 300 years in prison on March 20th, 1989. A man from the Philippines turned his quiet neighborhood into a scene of chaos. He took the life of the innocent without warning, leaving families in shock and grief. Bullets flew as fear spread through the streets. The community will never forget the horror of that morning. Some questions about that day may never be answered. Real crimes are more terrifying than any ghost story. They are born from the darkest corners of the human mind, where greed, rage, and obsession twist into acts beyond imagination. In this channel, we dive deep into these chilling true events, unmasking the truth that hides in the shadows. If you have a passion for real crime stories, subscribe and join our growing community. Don't forget to click the bell button for more real-life crime stories. Kawit shooting, a mass murder that occurred in Philippines on January 4th, 2013. 41-year-old Ronald Bay killed at least 7 people and wounded 12 others with a semi-automatic pistol before he was shot and killed by police. Another man, 27-year-old John Paul Lopez, who was said to have been employed by Bay as his house caretaker, was later arrested for assisting Bay during the shooting by reloading his pistol magazine. The shooting began just after 9 in the morning when Bay, together with Lopez, entered a store and asked the 3 Camel children, among them his godchild Ken Cedric Camel, for a man named Berto. When they replied that Berto was not there, Bay drew a .45 caliber Colt 1911 and shot at the children, killing 7-year-old Michaela and seriously wounding her brother and sister. Bay and Lopez then left the store, and while running through the street, Bay fired at anyone in his path, while Lopez would reload his pistol when he ran out of bullets. Thus, he first killed Alberto Fernandez and his dog, who were standing at the porch, then a pregnant woman named Ria de Vera with a shot in the stomach, as well as her 3-year-old daughter, John Monica. Also killed was Tahoe vendor Aldorio, while his brother Antonio was wounded with a shot in the back. Afterwards, Bay returned to his home, where soon police arrived and asked him to surrender, though he was starting shooting at police, until he was eventually killed when officers returned fire. Overall, the shooting had lasted for about 30 minutes. Lopez, on the other hand, disappeared after the shooting, and a reward of 100,000 pesos was offered for information that would lead to his arrest, though he eventually surrendered himself to police and was taken into custody. Bay was shot and killed by police the same day. After Lopez had hinted to investigators that Bay had already killed other people in previous years and buried their bodies around his house, police searched the area and unearthed the skeletal remains of a human being. According to Lopez, they belonged to Teodulo Villanueva, a former helper of Bay, whom he murdered in 2003 for duping him in connection with his fighting cocks.